let's talk about this movie. So, welcome to this video. I thought I would do my spoiler-free review of Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob. Now, again, this is a spoiler-free, so I will not be spoiling anything of this movie as I talk about it. So if you have not seen it, stick around, but just know I will be doing a spoiler-full review soon. So if you haven't seen it by then don't watch that one yet. Alright, Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob. How is this movie? How does it hold up? What is it? All this and that. Well, the gang take a trip to jolly old England, as Fred says. And upon arriving, they meet this sorceress named Morgan Le Fay, who whisks them back in time to the time of medieval knights, King Arthur, and the Sword and the Stone. There, they have to fight for the rightful throne, help Merlin, and make sure Morgan Le Fay doesn't take it for herself. Now, going into this movie, I honestly was really worried about how they were going to do the whole time traveling aspect, but without spoiling it, I can say I am very relieved with how they did it and how they pulled it off. Now, for the characters, we're going to go through Mystery Inc. We had Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, Scooby. Obviously, they're all in it. Going into this movie, I definitely thought it was going to be a heavy Shaggy movie, almost like Shaggy's Showdown, but I don't feel like it was quite as heavy of a Shaggy movie as I initially thought. I feel like everybody got their time to shine in this movie. Everybody got a moment. So, starting with Fred. Fred definitely is a bit more comedic in this film. Overall, I definitely feel like he's comedic, but I feel like it's kind of toned down from some of the previous films that we've had recently. But he's still comedic. He's still, that way. But I will say they really did bring out his traps from like Mystery Incorporated, his like trap obsession a little bit, which I thought was really fun. Now for Daphne, she has a little bit of her be cool Scooby-Doo personality in this movie again, like we saw in Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, but it is toned down in this one. I feel like there's just like these random moments where she'll kind of make some snarky comments and you're like, okay. And then we also really got her like bad girl, bad A type, personality, almost from like What's New Scooby-Doo, I'd say, but where she's ready to kick butt, and I loved seeing that in her again. Loved to see her just jump in and take in the action immediately, head first. Now for Velma, we're all worried going into these movies with Velma right now, and I feel really sad about that because I really feel like Curse of the 13th Ghost and Return to Zombie Island gave all of us a really bad taste in our mouths with Velma, and so now going into these movies we're really hesitant, especially with her. I honestly was hoping they were going to drop the whole skepticism, denial thingy, because I really liked her story arc in Happy Halloween, where she was coming to terms that it's okay to be afraid, that it's okay to fear things and to acknowledge that she has fears. And I really love that about Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo. So I was really hoping we were done with that in this movie, but we weren't quite done with it, it seems. She is still in denial and a bit like, oh, it's got to be explainable type of thing, but it's definitely toned down a ton. I feel like she's a lot more pleasant this film in her, like, oh, I gotta figure out what is going on. I will say there's a moment in the movie when she kind of goes off on her own and she kind of admits, she's like, I'm having a day. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know how to make sense of this. Help. And I really liked that moment in the movie, to see her vulnerable away from her friends, away from everyone, and to basically say, I don't want to believe that it's real, but if it is, then okay, you know? So I really like that about her in this film. Now Shaggy, again, I really thought this film was gonna be about Shaggy a lot, but it wasn't totally about Shaggy. The plot is driven by Shaggy's ancestry, but Shaggy is just kind of like a side character, at least in the later half of the film. I really also thought Shaggy was going to be kidnapped for a lot of the movie, but he wasn't kidnapped for a lot of the movie, at least not as much as I thought. But I will say it was kind of fun to see Scooby with the gang away from Shaggy. I was excited for that in the film, and I feel like even though it was a lot shorter than I expected, it was still a lot of fun to see that dynamic. Now for Scooby, he's there, of course. I feel like at the very beginning, he's really like just pure comedic relief in the movie, and then like the later half, obviously when Shaggy gets kidnapped and whatever, he's like, we're finding Shaggy and nothing matters until we do. So he kind of drives the plot in the later half of the film. I feel like, you know, he kind of moves the story along. He's like, okay, we gotta go, you know? So I appreciate that. He did stay by Shaggy's side a lot of the movie while Shaggy was there. So I don't know, Scooby's there, he's there. Can't say much has changed with Scooby. For their costumes, I have to talk about their costumes because again, they go back in time. So they're like, we gotta dress for the part, you know, just for the time period. Can I just say, I love how they dress. I love how they incorporate their colors, their iconic colors in with their, you know, clothes that they wear and everything. And Daphne like still has a little scarf. And now we have King Arthur in this movie, who was voiced by Jason Isaacs, and I was so excited about this because Jason Isaacs did Dick Dastardly in Scoob last year, and I loved his performance as Dick Dastardly. So I was so excited to see him as King Arthur, and it does not disappoint. He is a great King Arthur in this movie. And something else to know is the dynamic between King Arthur and Shaggy is something I never thought I wanted or would work, but it's actually a lot of fun, and especially with the ending of the movie. Again, I won't spoil it, but how they end his character is really, really satisfying for him and Shaggy's relationship, and there's a whole kind of little side story about King Arthur and whatever. Again, I won't spoil it, but I really appreciated how they developed King Arthur with Shaggy. We also had Merlin, who was voiced by Nick Frost, I believe it is. I'm not knowledgeable on him, but a lot of people were excited for him. I thought he was great. I actually really enjoyed the character Merlin more than I thought, because from the trailer we just kind of saw Merlin was doing burping jokes and whatever, and so I was like, eh. But then going into the movie, he was a lot of fun. I love how they utilize Merlin, and the times that he pops up, he's just kind of like, you know, like, he pops up, he's like itching his ear, and he's like, oh hey, you're welcome, bye-bye, you know. I don't know, he's a lot of fun. I love how they portrayed him, and I like how they changed up his look from what we're normally seeing of Merlin and other forms of media and whatever. So I really appreciate that, and I love his ending story. Again, no spoiling, but I did appreciate kind of how they closed off Merlin in this movie. One thing I will say that I'm disappointed about is the dragon who is on the cover of the DVD is not as present as I thought it would be. I was really, really excited to have a dragon in this movie because I've really wanted a dragon-driven Scooby-Doo movie. I don't know why, I just have. So I was really excited to see a dragon in this movie. And the moments that it was there, it was fun and cool, but it was very, very short. And I just feel like I didn't quite get the satisfaction of having the dragon in the movie as I wish I would have had. So that's a little disappointment from me with the dragon aspect, but it's fine. One thing I did really enjoy was, this isn't really a huge spoiler, but I guess you could consider it a little spoiler, so I apologize, but there's a Black Knight in the movie at one point, and I really loved his design. I love how he was utilized and brought into the story. So kind of random, but I really did enjoy having this random Black Knight, you know, kind of adds to the whole aesthetic of the film. So overall, I have to say Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob is a really fun movie. I honestly like it more than Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, and I really enjoyed Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, so I can't wait to watch this movie again. Hopefully you all enjoyed it if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought of Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob down in the comments below, but please keep it spoiler-free because this is our spoiler-free review. Once I do the spoiler-full review video, you can leave all the spoilers in there. So yeah, let me know what you thought of it down below if you've seen it, and let's see where the next direct-to-video movie is going to take us, where the future is going with these. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!